on every list except the Epstein list. We haven't heard anything about that one in a while.
Tonight, the Justice Department releasing its biggest batch yet of documents related to the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
Thousands and thousands of times. In those files, there's highly disturbing allegations.
Donald Trump once famously said, "I'm on every list except the Epstein list." Well, that claim is getting a lot harder to maintain tonight, because a new batch of Jeffrey Epstein-related documents has been released, and once again, Trump's name is right there in the mix, not as a footnote, not as background noise, but as a recurring presence that raises the same uncomfortable question we keep circling back to. If there's truly nothing here, why all the dodging, deflecting, and outrage every time transparency comes up? And more importantly, why does this story keep disappearing the moment it becomes politically inconvenient? Let's ground this in facts and timeline. The Justice Department has now released millions of pages tied to Jeffrey Epstein, filings, emails, affidavits, depositions, and investigative materials accumulated over years. This isn't one leak. This is an ongoing disclosure process. Among those materials are repeated references to Donald Trump, his social orbit, and individuals closely associated with him during the 2015 to 2016 campaign period. To be clear, inclusion in documents is not a conviction. Allegations are not proof. Trump has denied wrongdoing related to Epstein, and the DOJ has stated that certain specific accusations are unsubstantiated. But denial does not erase documentation. And documentation is what this conversation is about. Now pause for 1 second and run the Fox News test. If these documents said Hunter Biden was hanging with Epstein during an election year, would conservative media be telling viewers to move on? If Barack Obama's name appeared repeatedly, even ambiguously, would we be hearing calm reminders about legal nuance? Of course not. We'd be deep into wall-to-wall coverage, graphic churns, emergency panels. But her emails level hysteria. Instead, what do we get now? Silence. Shrugging. Minimization. Suddenly context matters. That's not journalism. That's protection. Here's what actually appears in the records. Multiple filings reference Epstein claiming associations with figures in Trump's political orbit during the 2016 campaign. One affidavit includes Epstein stating he was, quote, hanging with the Trump boys. That phrase matters. It's vague, legally vague, but politically explosive. There are also earlier videos, photos, and social footage showing Trump and Epstein socializing years before Epstein's first conviction. Trump himself once publicly commented on Epstein's taste in women, saying he liked them young. Again, context is everything. These documents don't prove crimes. But they do establish proximity, repetition, and contradiction with later claims of total estrangement. And when names show up thousands of times across millions of pages, the volume alone becomes a story. So what's the defense? Well, it's not illegal to party with Epstein. Well, it's not a crime to email Epstein. Well, photos can't talk. All technically true. And completely beside the point. Because not illegal is not the same as not disqualifying. And no charges is not the same as nothing to explain. Trump and his allies have spent years demanding lie detectors, tribunals, and televised interrogations for everyone else. But when scrutiny turns inward, suddenly the bar drops to the floor. That's not consistency. That's spin. Now look at who's stepping forward, and who isn't. Bill and Hillary Clinton have agreed to sit for recorded depositions. Public. On the record. No preemptive attacks on the process. Meanwhile, Trump continues to frame the entire Epstein probe as a partisan witch hunt while refusing to engage with the substance of what's in the files. If this is all nonsense, why not testify? Why not answer questions under oath? Why not welcome daylight? Transparency shouldn't be selective. Zoom out, and this story stops being just about Epstein. It's about power, who gets scrutiny and who gets shielded. It's about branding, how drain the swamp became run the swamp. And it's about a media ecosystem that demands accountability from everyone except the people it protects. When slogans collide with reality, reality usually wins. Eventually. So here's the challenge. If Donald Trump truly has nothing to hide, stop attacking journalists. Stop deflecting to the Clintons. Stop pretending transparency is persecution. Sit for a public hearing. Answer the questions. Let the American people decide. Because if this were Biden, if this were Obama, we all know exactly how this would be playing out. So thank for watching. If you are new on my official news YouTube channel, subscribe my official news YouTube channel and also like my video.